Hello! Oh, very excited this Sunday. I hope you guys are having a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. I am here with, you already know, another coffee chat with a fellow. One of our favorites on LinkedIn right now. Introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, my name is Ordonez and I am one of the 10 administrative fellows at Hartford HealthCare this year.
How excited are you about that?
Super excited. I think it's a great opportunity. It's been I moved in June, so 4 months?
Wow.
Almost.
It seems longer. Does it seem longer for you? Yeah. I'm not living it, so
right.
So
I feel like I've been living in Connecticut for a while now, but slowly getting accustomed to the New England lifestyle, and I'm loving it. It's been great.
Listen, it's very different. And where are you originally from?
So I'm originally from Sarasota, Florida, but my parents are Colombian, so I'm a proud Colombian American, and I left Florida when I was 18.
Wow.
I moved to Ithaca, New York, where I did my studies at Cornell for undergrad and grad school. So all I've known was Ithaca and now Hartford.
Oh, very, very, very different. That's where we originally met, you and I.
Yes.
We came to speak at your school.
Our colloquium.
So I love how this came, 360? Or can we say 180? Because
yes.
we're not really done yet, right? There's more in your journey for us, and I'm glad to have a seat to get to watch.
Correct. And we reconnected at Nolly last week in Texas. So
shout out Nolly.
Yes.
Love the community. If you don't know, please look it up. I'll leave some information for you. So today's adventure, if you haven't had a chance to follow, please do go onto my LinkedIn page. I try to every so often tap into our young leaders, because I feel that there is definitely something to learn, and we have what we have called Coffee Chat with a Fellow, and we are going to do some fun questions, some serious questions, a blend, and we want to know your thoughts on them. So you ready to play?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Number one, what's one word that describes your fellowship experience so far?
Okay, I think my fellowship experience so far has been one word, ignited. I think it's ignited various things about my career, about my personal journey, about my strengths, my weaknesses. Every day I go into the office, I'm in the downtown office in Pearl Street. I feel like it's igniting a new relationship, a new challenge, and just a new opportunity.
I love that word. That's a first. I will tell you, that's a first. Ignited. We're gonna hashtag that, because you guys, if you follow me, you know I love a hashtag. I love a hashtag. You're walking into Hartford HealthCare. What's playing in your headphones?
Okay, so in the mornings I have a strict podcast routine that I started during my fellowship recruitment, because I was like, I need to constantly know what's going on in the world, in America, in healthcare. So my routine is always the Morning Brew, the Daily, and NPR. And once I finish those three in my morning routine and I'm walking to the office or in my car, I'm always listening to my Ibiza playlist or Latin music.
This is every day?
Every day.
Really?
Every day. And at work, I listen to lo-fi or Ibiza playlist or some sort of EDM playlist around the world.
I need to ask, how hyper are you after listening to Latin music? Because it gets me, listen, when we were at Nolly Summit, the Latin music, maybe because we had a live band, it took me hours to just, to get at a lower frequency.
I think people that know me would probably describe me as being a very bubbly and energetic person. So I think it definitely takes another person to be listening to EDM at 7 a.m.
Okay, all right. So makes sense. It's starting to make sense. Okay, all right. Why did you say yes to this fellowship?
So I think I said yes to this fellowship, or I know, because one, the culture. I definitely felt the culture when I was recruiting with Hartford HealthCare as being very mentorship forward, inclusive. It felt like a place where I was going to walk in and opportunities were just going to open up, and it was going to be a space of just learning and feedback. I think having a cohort, so like I mentioned, we have 10 amazing fellows this year and also next year, and I think that really fosters a lot of that cross-collaboration and not only a friendship, but also colleagues that are one day going to be, doing great and big things in the healthcare field. and I really wanted to take space in something that we're all, it feels like grad school over again. Like we're all growing. It's our first job for some of us, and we're kind of just like all understanding a complex system and kind of like the complexities of healthcare.
Do you still feel the yes was worth it?
Yes, every day I feel the yes. I'm excited to go to work every day. I wake up, I remember calling my parents and my girlfriend the first time and saying like, wow, this company is just so amazing. Like they really set the bar high, where it's like, one day if I end up going to another system, Hartford HealthCare really set the bar very, very high in terms of, like their offerings, their people, very like, being the best at getting better, right? Like
very much the mission statement.
Really a mission statement that you feel with every person you talk to, whether it be at a community event or at a fundraiser event or just at work. Everybody's always just so happy for what they're doing.
That's hard to get. So Hartford HealthCare, good job. What's something no one told you about healthcare leadership?
I think I've slowly been realizing and learning that it's not all about exactly having the answer right away, but more about holding space for the uncertainty and really bringing in, fostering those collaborative conversations with the people that need to be at the table to really understand, what is the problem at hand. And because I'm more in the operations fellowship, it seems like a lot of it is how can we make it, harmonize and hum. How can we bring the right people to the table to really find the solution as a collaborative effort rather than a singular person saying this is the right way to go.
Listen, it takes many of us in higher leadership roles years to figure that out. Right. So kudos to you for figuring it out early. Listen, it's gonna take my job, so maybe we'll stop. No, seriously, that's something to be spoken for. So congratulations. Like I said, years to figure out what the table really represents. So I love that. Early morning or late nights?
I think late nights, but I have been trying to be an early morning person. It's a work in progress, but I like to go to workout classes, so I do a lot of Orange Theory, and I'm trying to do the 5 a.m.s at least twice a week, but it is like I have to wake up at 4:30. So lately it's been 1 or twice a week I actually hit that goal, but late nights for me.
So we are up at 4 early morning, and we still have the energy by the time we've had our 3 podcasts and our Latin music, and we haven't, we're just walking through the door,
and I'm always saying hello to the same people and bright smile always.
Is there espresso in your coffee?
Sometimes I like to drink Celsius.
This is how you're thriving. This is how you're thriving.
And Hartford HealthCare has, Diet Cokes and coffee and stuff that keep you going through the day.
We hit on the secret, because I'm a naturally hyper person,
right?
But your morning routine has it. I'm confused. Listen, if this is what we need for the new wave of leadership, I'm for it. Celsius, give me a call. we'll get on it. 4 a.m., 3 podcasts, and Latin music. I adore it. Listen, what surprised you most about stepping into the C-suite world?
I think realizing how much their work is about listening and alignment. I think going into these meetings, it's not about how much is being said by our leaders, but more about, again, the spaces that are being brought forth, and just the opportunities for people to vocalize, any concerns or opportunities that we may have as a system or as a service line or whatever the challenge is, and really cultivating culture and strategy within how we're trying to define, the new leadership. Another thing that really sparked kind of just a wow moment is seeing how many of our leaders are truly trying to foster mentorship and really seeing, what is our system or my position going to look like in 10 years, and who is going to be the next leader for the system. And I think that was very shocking to me, because I feel like we always hear about these things, but when you're in a table and you're hearing about people are constantly thinking about how to continue to mentor, us early careers to one day potentially be in their shoes or maybe in other shoes, It's welcoming, but it's also very fulfilling, because every day it just gives you more motivation to want to continue to bring your best foot forward.
So I have a surprise question for you. Did you believe when you heard it and then you finally got to see it? Was it believable at the listening stage, or did it come into full fruition when you actually seen it firsthand?
So I think I'm a person that doesn't believe it until you see it. And I think I believed it, of course, because somebody's telling me. Like, nobody's I hope nobody's lying to me when they're telling me these things.
Yes.
But when you sit there and you listen to the conversations about whether it's mentorship, whether it's a plan to really bring somebody to get an experience because they think they have the potential, I think is when you start seeing the value.
Okay.
And kind of like you experience it firsthand.
So that's reassuring, because I speak to a lot of fellows, and I think once you put yourself in this world, then you're like, okay, they weren't just feeding me anything. It's actually the truth.
Right.
So you had like a blend.
Yes. And that's why I think the most valuable experiences that I've had have been kind of like sometimes like the panel type discussions.
Okay.
Because I think it fosters a collaborative conversation where you start kind of like feeling a little bit more of like the realities of it, rather than just one person sharing one experience they had. I think when it's a panel, you start seeing similarities between what is being said. So I have heard this before in panel, like mentorship, sponsorship, type of discussions where they share their own kind of like a case study, like their journey, like how it happened to them directly. And I think that's when you start believing it, but seeing it early on as you enter as a fellow, I think was very impressive and shocking to me.
Well, listen, we didn't plan this in this order. I promise you. I liked how you talked about the panel. So we just came back from Nali, and what does being a part of that organization do to you?
So I actually reflected on this last week. Somebody asked me, like, why are you so motivated all of a sudden? I mean, I was already motivated at my job, but I just came back and I was just very like intrigued with, like, I just like came back with more energy and really, really loving what I'm doing. And I think I see Nali as like this analogy of like having a compass in an unfamiliar territory where, like, no matter how uncertain the path is, there's always going to be somebody, a family or like friends that are going to help you guide you through that journey because they were there once in those shoes.
Yes.
And I think every time I go to Nali, it's an opportunity to not only express and share kind of like my culture and celebrate it as being a Colombian American, but celebrating other cultures. But also an opportunity to just really keep yourself grounded and kind of like continue to ignite that passion for why are we here in healthcare? Like, why are we doing what we do every day? And what I really liked about the conference is that we don't stick to like all of the changes that are happening in healthcare in today's world, but more of like the celebrations and the opportunities for growth, and really how it's an exciting opportunity to shift our systems, our work into what we have to hold it to today. So we don't really like sit in the uncertainty, but more of like the actions that we can bring.
So is it fair to say Nali filled your why?
Right. I like to say fills my cup, because I heard that analogy a while back, and I'm like, everyone has a thing or things that fill their cup, and I think Nali is one of those that every year I hope to be a part of their conference and Nali tri-state events, but it fills my cup.
I love that. I do feel the same. Very happy that the tri-state, gives a little bit in Jersey, gives a little bit in New York, gives a little bit in Connecticut, so you can kind of get a blend and get some more leadership and not just one-sided. So I'm fill your cup. I love that. So fill in the blank. Leadership is
service, not status.
Woo! Love it. I love that. Elaborate.
I've always been a very service-driven individual. I remember my high school quote was the one from The Office about you will always find me doing some sort of service role, volunteer, working at nonprofits. And I think during that time in high school, I think I was just doing it because it's just kind of like I loved it, but also it was kind of like a need because I'm going to college. I need to really have a revamped resume. Then in college, I was part of like Cornell Traditions Fellowship, which was a service fellowship in my university. And I didn't need to continue to do service, but I think leadership is about like the service you provide in your community and getting to know the community that you're just providing services to, whether it be in healthcare or in whatever field you're working in. I hold a lot of value in service.
That's inspiring, and full transparency, because you said in high school you were doing it because it was like a requirement for college.
That's kind of how it started.
Exactly, but then when you got to college, you could have stopped, right? You got into college. Shout out to Cornell.
Right.
But you felt the need to keep doing it.
Right.
Like it was a calling.
And now I'm in my full-time job, and I don't need to be doing volunteer hours at, anywhere, but I decide that I want to do it because there's a lot of like pros to it. You're giving back to a community, you're understanding the community you're taking like space in, but you're also like meeting friends. Like you make connections at these service places, like events or galas or whatever it is that you're providing service to, that also hold the same values and just like passion for that organization that you're servicing.
Look alike, sound alike. That's what I promote. If you could switch roles with any healthcare leader for a day, who would it be?
Okay, so this one I would have to choose somebody within public health, because that's kind of how my journey in healthcare started. Because I was a global and public health minor at Cornell. And I would have to say I would have loved to switch roles with Dr. Paul Farmer.
Okay.
Because of all the amazing work he accomplished around the world for global and public health and care for underserved communities. I think one of my first jobs in high school was working at Jewish Family and Children's Services when I was 15 years old. And that opened my eyes to just like the services that a lot of underdeveloped communities in my area of Sarasota, Florida, were lacking, and how we can provide case management and opportunities to really get people back on track and get custody of their children, and really helping with families and mothers. So I think he has always been a leader that I've looked up to, and because of all the impact that he had globally, and really was a trailblazer in global public health.
Oh wow, that's amazing. There is since you love a chapter like I do, right? We love an organization. There is a organization called Brothers in Public Health. You should look them up. That you would probably get some fulfillment from being involved with them. So, Brothers in Public Health, I'm sending a gem to you. If your career journey had a movie title, what would it be?
I think my movie title would be Journeys Through Conversations.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Just because everything in my life has been guided through conversations that I've had with people. So I'll give you like a quick example. My inspiration to go to Cornell I did a high school program at Cornell my incoming senior year, and that's kind of like what sparked like, this is my dream school, like I have to go here. And then I applied early decision. Was because my first job was at a nursing home. I was a waiter in Sarasota, and one of my favorite residents, her name is Mrs. Tishman. She would always talk about her daughter's journey to Cornell and then Harvard Law, and I never knew what Cornell was, because my dream at that time was to go to Harvard. I was a freshman in high school, so I was like, I want to go to Harvard.
Yeah, big name.
I want to go to Columbia. Like,
yes.
I was like, we all have those dreams of like, I've seen those movies, like I want to go there. And I'm first gen, so it's very like,
setting the tone.
It's setting the tone to like all these, setting the bar high and shooting for it, right? And through the conversation with this resident, she would tell me the same story. And at first you're like a kid, you're like, yeah, and you're like, oh, what is this Cornell thing she keeps talking about? And again, through conversations, I applied, I got in, and then fast track, her daughter becomes my mentor unknowingly.
No way. Really?
Unknowingly, years later. And at the end of my Cornell experience, I got the opportunity to receive an award through the Cornell Tradition Fellowship, and I was able to name a scholarship off of someone, and I named it off of her because she had such a big impact in my life through a conversation.
Now we have to shout her out. What is the daughter's name?
Mrs. Tishman is the mother, and then Jane Robbins is the daughter.
Well, Jane, I don't know what your mission was. Who planted you? But that is amazing.
Yeah. It was great. It was, and I think through that I've always believed in, the power of conversations.
Yes.
Because you never know when you're going to spark an idea or an opportunity for someone. And this resident didn't know what she was doing through the same story that she was telling me,
yes.
but she implanted a seed in my head.
That is amazing.
That 3 years later, I ran with it, and I was like, I'm going to do the high school program.
That's listen. The power of connection, right? I breathe it. I believe it. And you firsthand told the story of what can be, right? I love that. What's your networking power move?
Okay, so I have two. One, I believe that for first impressions, and maybe as a guy, sometimes people don't consider this, but what you wear is important.
Yes,
I think I like to go to events, and I like for people to be like, oh, like it sparks conversations. Like, I like the color of your suit. Like, I really like your watch. Like, your shoes are unique. Like, where'd you get them?
Yes.
So I always focus on my attire and my presence. And then my second one, if it's an event with music, I love to dance.
Yes,
so,
I witnessed that. yes, I have.
So everyone that knows me, I did dance at Cornell. So I was on a dance team. I danced in middle school, so I have had some professional dancing background. But I love to dance, and I think through dancing, I've made a lot of connections, and it kind of just people just feel the welcoming energy.
Yes. I love a dancer. Yes. So I got to witness. You are a very good dancer. I thought you just naturally did this. I didn't know you were trained. Yes. So we have one last question.
Yeah.
What's one bold goal you're chasing next?
Okay, I'll give you two, because professional and personal.
Okay.
Personal, I really want to run a half marathon.
Really?
Yes. Running somewhat comes naturally to me. But I really do, it's in my goal to run a half marathon, and I'm going to do it. But now that I vocalized it, I'm doing it.
It has to be done.
It has to be done.
We heard it. We got to hold them accountable, team.
Yep. And then professionally, I really currently I'm working on a project that deals with a lot of change management and kind of bringing a lot of groups together and conversations. So that is my big goal. I've never had such a macro project.
Wow.
And I think it's going to be a nice learning opportunity this year.
I know you're going to accomplish both those goals. Like, I know you could probably do a half marathon for Hartford, because you guys are always doing a dance or something. Someone's always running somewhere. There's always something. So you probably can combine those goals at your fellowship. As always, ma'am, it is always a pleasure to have a conversation with you. I am admirable of all the things that you've already accomplished at your level. And just know there's more to come. So from me to you, very proud of you. And, just look forward to seeing what happens. If you want to have a seat in the hot seat for a coffee with chat with a fellow, please look me up. Send me a message, and we'll be happy to do so.
Yeah, no, and thank you everything you do for us, and really provide, a platform for people to find each other,
yes,
to foster the networking opportunity, and just always, giving back to the early careers, because it's so important.
Yes,
you never know when you're planting a seed for someone. So
listen, I'm waiting to retire, and I'm more comfortable now seeing leadership like you. So till next time, thank you for joining us. Look out for our next coffee chat with a fellow.
Thank you.
Bye.